Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Blazer Guy 1983 channel again. Just giving you kind of an update. I've had a lot of comments, well not a lot, but a few comments I should say, regarding my previous video posts that I put up regarding the O2 sensor issue that I was having with the 97 Chevy Blazer. Like I had said before, this is the 97 4.3 liter two-door base model Chevy Blazer. Now this particular vehicle has on it, let's see what the mileage says on it. I'm going to say it is 143, 123 on it, miles on it. So not terrible for the Vortec 4.3. They seem to hold up pretty good as long as you take care of them. Most importantly, what really seems to help them is to keep up on the coolant changes, and they used Dex coolant this year, which is a GM coolant. Highly recommended to lose the Dex cool. But anywho, moving on here, the O2 sensor issue. I got my diagnostics tool, my little Harbor Freight deal that I got here about a couple years ago. Not a bad tool. The support for it's terrible though. What I ended up having to do was I went and found directly to the manufacturer of who makes the tool, because Centec is the Harbor Freight brand of their electronics. Now, I don't know if I can turn this off for you and then turn it back on here. Yeah, so that's the manufacturer of who actually makes the tool itself. It used to say Centec on there, but I did a firmware update from their website on this, and it's given me a few extra options that I didn't have before. So, as of right now, I do not have a check engine light. Basically, the post that I put up before was telling you about how I had a diagnostics code that was saying that there was a high voltage on the circuit for sensor 3 bank 1, which there's 4 O2 sensors on this particular model of Blazer. The newer ones only have 3. This one has 4. It's when you look up the diagram online, it basically tells you it's the post cat, meaning after the cat O2 sensor was giving me a high voltage. Now, the high voltage could mean several things from my research. My research tells me that 1, it could be just simply the O2 sensor is going bad. 2, there could be a wiring problem somewhere, such as a short or some issues with the wires, which I'm going to get into that in a couple minutes, going a little bit more in depth on that. The second thing is it could also be that the vehicle is running rich. Whenever you're getting a high voltage, that usually is a detection of the O2 sensor monitoring the emission system after the cat, saying that the fuel level is rich. The exhaust is reading rich, meaning it's dumping too much fuel. What commonly goes bad on these Chevy Blazers is the what am I trying to say? The Spider Injectors. The Spider Injector, which is a spider-looking fella that's mounted underneath the intake, upper intake manifold, which is a plastic manifold. Under that manifold, they have what they call a Spider Injector, which is a bunch of injector, they call them poppets, which is plugs that go down into holes in each cylinder. And it has one master control unit that controls all the injectors. They're famous for going bad as long as the plastic on it tends to get brittle from heat and age. And with this many miles, I have no idea. I've only owned the vehicle 2 years. So, I mean, it's very possible that they had replaced or have never replaced that Spider Injector. The Spider Injector also not only has the injector, but it also has mounted on it the fuel pressure regulator, which when they go bad, the diaphragm has a tendency of leaking fuel directly out, and it'll lay on the intake. Sometimes when you get hard starts, or if you're running rich, or you got a rough idle, that could be part of your problem. It's getting excess of fuel into the combustion chambers because it's sucking in that gas through the intake that's not accounted for by the computer through the injector. So that will also throw a rich code as well on your O2 sensors. Now, once again, from my research, I've found very little information to help me, so I've done a lot of extensive research to get what I have. My research also tells me that the post cat on this particular vehicle after the catalytic converter is also is mainly for emissions. It doesn't necessarily control your it doesn't really affect your fuel delivery from what I understand. That's what I've read. Now, I will say I replaced the O2 sensor just because, I mean, it's never been replaced, so it's not going to hurt. And I got it on Rock Auto for like 20 bucks. I think Advanced wanted $56 for the exact same part number. I put a Denso on it. Denso and AC Delco and Delphi seem to be the way to go. I've used Bosch O2 sensors, never had problems with them, but from what I understand, that Delphi or AC Delco is the way to go. Denso, I've used them, never had a problem with them either. They seem to be pretty decent too. So I put a Denso brand, got it for 20 bucks. I don't have the part number available, guys. I do apologize. I always get a lot of posts saying, you didn't give us the part number or the price. Well, yeah, I kind of make these videos on a whim, so I do apologize. But if you go on Rock Auto and you need an O2 sensor, I guarantee, I mean, you'll find it. You just got to put in your vehicle specs and your year and your make and your engine, and it'll give you a parts catalog for it. So, but once again, I'm rambling. Got a lot of information to give you, so I apologize for that. What I did was I updated this diagnostics tool. So not only does it does basic diagnostics, now I have the key turned to the on position here, so that way I have the computer on so it can communicate. We're going to go ahead and erase previously stored data because there's nothing in here. So if you look there, it says 0 codes found. We'll read codes one more time just to make sure. No codes. No pending codes. Good. That means since this light tripped about 2 weeks ago, the light has not come back on with the old nor the new O2 sensor that's been on for 2 days. So the new one's been on 2 days, still hasn't tripped. Now here's where it gets interesting. Let me start this guy up here. Alright, so we're running. Now we're going to pull up some live data here. This is a feature that I wish this thing had had, and it does have now that I updated the firmware in it. Okay, so we're going to view data. We're going to do a custom, and I'm sorry, I don't know how well this is showing up on here. We're going to do a custom, okay. Now we're going to go down here, we're going to choose the O2 sensors. Like I said, there's 4 of them on here, so we're going to pull up all 4. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and hit enter. Now that's a live data from all the O2 sensors. I don't know if you can see the volts on them, but they're fluctuating. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go down to 0, all the way up to close to, I think, 800 or 900 sometimes. So they're all working. We're at operating temperature. Now, if you come down here, let me highlight this. Bank 1 sensor 3, if you notice that, it's not really moving. It's kind of staying right at that 45, 50, 40. From what I understand, now if I hit enter again, this is going to give me a graph that you can read. Now, from what my research tells me, and I hope this helps somebody else because I sure as heck couldn't get information, it's supposed to kind of look like steps, the reading. So if you see that, so from what I've been told, that is actually what a good O2 sensor is supposedly supposed to look like. Now, once again, I'm basing this off of very little research that I found. So a good O2 sensor that is a post-CAT, mainly used for emissions control, not necessarily fuel delivery, is supposed to look a lot like this. This is a live voltage reading of the sensor. This is usually, from what I understand, when it looks like this, this is normally a sign that you have a good catalytic converter and a working sensor. If anybody else has an argument on there, please give it to me. I'd love any information I can get because I'm having a heck of a time finding anything. Now, if you go to one of the pre-CAT ones, the ones that actually do control fuel economy, you're going to see a totally different waveform for voltage. See, originally, guys, now you see that nice general slopes? This is an example of a good functioning O2 sensor. Now, there's further more extensive diagnostics that you can do to check these sensors to make sure they're responding to lean and rich conditions, some of which involve, you know, splicing into the wire and grounding it out, the sensor out a certain, you know, if you ground the sensor out a certain way, you can check and watch this waveform and make sure that the field trim changes and whatnot. I don't know if what I'm doing here is considered the field trim. I think this is just a voltage fluctuation, which I guess is considered the field trim I'm looking at. But this is an example of a good O2 sensor. These are usually pre-CAT, meaning before the catalytic converter. These are O2 sensors that directly tell the computer what to do as far as delivering fuel. Like I said, post-CAT looks different, and that's what I've learned. That's the information I've been given. So, me, rushed out, panicked, and thinking I had a problem because I got a reading that was looking like like this, that looked like them steps instead of nice, general, hilly looking slopes. You know, this is from what I've been told what it's supposed to look like. So hopefully I'm right. I'm hoping I'm giving you all good information. But that's my update. So far, I have not gotten any further check engine lights. It seems to be running better. I know they say that it does not affect, I know it says it does not affect the fuel delivery there, but, you know, from what I understand, you know, with the fuel delivery, so from what I understand is it's not supposed to affect the fuel delivery, that last O2 sensor. So, you know, we shall see. So I'm going to just go ahead and turn this guy off here, and I'm going to go ahead and unplug it because there's no codes. And then we're going to go outside. Now, I hope you guys can hear me. It's on my way home, it decided to get extremely windy for some reason. The wind wasn't even blowing when I was driving home. I get home, think, oh, I'm going to shoot these videos real fast for you guys, and, well, guess what? The wind's blowing like crazy. So, I'm just going to go underneath here to show you where the post cat, after the cat O2 sensor is. Try not to get in the whole way. So, we're coming up here on the right side of the vehicle. Here's the passenger side right here. The passenger side, two-door Blazer. Come down here. Hopefully this picks up, and hopefully I can see what you're seeing. So if you look right there, there is the post-cat O2 sensor. There's the muffler. There's where the muffler bolts on. I put a direct fit muffler on this. And then there's the post-cat O2 sensor. There's also one right there. Get the torsion bar if it's pre-cat. There's also two more, which I don't think I'm going to be able to show you from under here. Here is the other one right there, coming right down before the Y splits off. There's another one up on the left side of the engine, but I'm not going to even be able to probably show you that one. But like I said, the post-cat was the bank 1 sensor 3, and that's the one that was throwing that high voltage. So if anybody can give me some feedback too, you know, like I said, if I'm wrong, you know, about the information I'm providing today as far as like that reading and what it's supposed to look like, you know, please correct me in the comments and give me some information. You know, I'm doing these videos to help you guys and hopefully help somebody else with these little mysteries that I run into. So hopefully some of these mysteries can be worked out and we can all work together as a team. I mean, that's pretty much what I use YouTube for, is, you know, working as a team to work out these issues. So I'll pop the hood here and just show you. Go ahead and pop this here. Give you guys all seasick here. Right, here we go. Let me flip this back around here. So that's the 4.3 there. This is, like I said, a 97 there. Runs pretty darn good. I really don't have any issues with it. I mean, for the most part, it runs really good. I mean, this is the first time that any of these issues occur.